you click on the screen and it just like does a little jig towards you and like makes this boxing animations towards you, and like if you lifted up the mouse and like moved it around, it's like the dances would change based on where the mouse was. Like that's the first thing this dude ever released, right? So it's like I don't know. It's just either the best shit on the internet or like the most boring shit on the internet. Depends on what entertains your brain. Anyway, we're diving back into the absolute realm of Dwarf Fortress. And the current year is 186. We are 186 years into Longdeath. Oh, are you thinking of Shelter? Riptors? Because they made Shelter and Shelter 2. I think that's a Lynx game? Not on the Atari Lynx, though. Not to be confused with Fallout Shelter. I wouldn't necessarily call those simulators, though. Like, they're definitely games where you have to raise cubs, but those are more like art games. And then they also made Pause, I think. Oh, actually, they made a game relatively recently. Woohoo! Woohoo, back at you. Next week we'll cross over 200. Yeah, odds are pretty good. Next week we will cross over 200-ish. I also like just stumbled on a little puzzle game that same studio put out called Pan Pan, which looks like my shit. Was Shelter 1 Badger? I don't know. I haven't played either of the Shelter games, but that looks like something I'd play. Oh, apparently they're making another game called Book of Travels. Q2 2021. Ooh, this is beautiful. Okay, so this is confusing to me. I realize I should be playing Dwarf Fortress. This game, Book of Travels, right? Look at this art. This is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it's like, oh man, like these kind of like almost hand-drawn, like kind of 3D flat spaces that you can kind of wander around in. Like, this looks beautiful. What is it's called? Book of Travels, and it's an MMO? What? I like how you ask me if I've played a game that hasn't come out yet. No, I have not played it, but I'm familiar with it. Yeah, it's one of those games that's doing a very, very good job advertising to literally every single streamer on Earth. So you'll probably see a lot of streams of it. I'm so confused by this game. It's pretty, though. Damn. Anyway, Dwarf Fort. Actual dwarfs, not romantic dwarfs. Yeah, I don't have key for Dwarf Romantic, and there's been a demo available for 1 billion years, and I don't have access to the demo right now. Yeah, I've basically, like, gone down the realm of I don't care for when it comes to new games. Like, there's unless it's something that I'm really interested in, I am totally okay to just let other people try the games, and then, like, you know, after the reviews are out, I will try it. Like, I was kind of interested in Star Dynasties, but I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to let other people try it. It's got bad reviews. All right, I'll skip it. I just don't bother these days. Unless it's something that, like, I need to play, I just won't bother. So we are in early summer of the year 186, right? We actually got decent time in yesterday. But the dwarves that are alive right now are Apostle, Axon, Sparkly 4K, Chimp, Danny Uji, The Squid, Peter, Abe, Tiny Goliath, Vinsati the Second, Beleg the Second, Tars the Second, Orson Frakes, Vuzel Vuzel, Ragswolf, Black Hole Kade, Trees, Cheers Jamie, Smash T, Simplex, Anton, Eternal, Clay, Dreadvic, Bastet, Hazard Jeff, Vim ML, Zani 66, Cutest the Third, Vigario Pro, and Cadenza, Sock Smell, Zope, Narvicious, Stone, Goffer, Lilim Katsu, and Patchwork. We are currently at 29 dwarves, and there's a dead child in the middle of the screen. Because one of the triplets just wasn't long for this world, so we're going to wait until Ducky gets put away. But yeah, no, There was a point, and you've been around the stream long enough, Ripturus, that you might remember those days, but like there was a point with this stream where like I did actively try to get access to new games. Look at the giant cougar that we have running around. So cute. There was a point where I actively tried to play new games. I don't do that anymore. Like it's I don't know. Does it equal more views? Generally, yeah. Would I rather just never do that? Yes. I do not play Paradox games, Grand Strategy games, Coldfire. I've not really considered playing Crusader Kings, no. That game has plenty of people streaming it. And if you want to watch someone, you can definitely go watch someone stream that. Have I tried Star Sector? I've owned Star Sector since Total Biscuit made a video about it in like 2013, 2012, whenever he made a video about it. But I've never actually installed it. So, one day maybe. Certainly more interested in that than like... Don't I have like a coffin assigned to you? I do. Lots of people enjoy it. Generally, with me, it's like, if I haven't played a game, I have a reason to not have played it. And if I haven't... And it's very rare I haven't heard of a game, unless it's like Trash Raccoon game number 47. What was the cause of death? Dehydration. Starve themselves. Depression. This child was born with like every single negative trait possible. They had frequently depressed, low self-esteem. They had a really hard time making friends and eventually just like keeled over. It was like kind of sad, actually. But yeah, no, it's one of those like people need to realize just what games I play. Like, I play Dwarf Fortress and traditional roguelikes. I don't need to play every single Forever Life game, you know? And that's like the most... And like, Paradox games are another one of those. Dwarf Fortress is one of those. Like, everything I play is one of those. So, I don't know. Trend is still looking bad-ish, yes. So today, probably what I'm going to do is bring in some more merchants. Maybe one or two more couples. And today is going to be a lot of not working. Part of the reason the population is looking bad-ish is because I've been working on this the past 15, 20 years. And so that's been a lot of their time, so they haven't had as much downtime. I'm probably going to open this tavern up today, actually. I'm not worried about the trend yet. Because we've been lower than this, so I'm not worried about the trend yet. And I'm not going to be worried about the trend until if we get below 20, I will be worried. If we stay below 30 for a while, I'll be worried. But we've dipped below 30 before. Like, we went from 30 to 45 in, like, a stream once. Because everybody just had babies all on the same day. It was like, I eat. So today the plan is, well, we're pretty stocked up on food right now. So we're just going to stay stocked up on food, and then I'm just going to let them chill for a year, basically. But how you doing today, Narvicious? You think my fort has a fertility problem? It doesn't have a fertility problem. Pat. And if you think it does, you don't know how Dwarf Fortress works. Dwarves need time, downtime, to actually spend time with their significant others and make babies, right? I've been working them to the bone on that tavern for a very long time. So they are working for literally months at a time without breaks, really, aside from just sleeping. So I need to let them socialize for a year or two. I have, like, at least a dozen married couples in the fortress. It's just a matter of waiting for a bit. Also, I like how Zope was super depressed, committed a crime, put in prison, and is now just like A-okay. A-okay. Gotta love it. So no, we are totally fine fertility-wise. It's just a matter of I've been working on this tower for too long. If I give them like 2 or 3 years off and they're still not okay, and we still haven't recovered the population, then I'm getting worried. But for right now, not super worried. Need a break from working to the bone to working the bone. Yeah, there you go. Although if literally every dwarf dies out in this fortress, that would be kind of an interesting way to go. I'm not going to lie. Because that would be a first for me. That would be a first. Is literally everybody just dying? Still a little bit loopy? Yeah, I know that feeling. Took me a while to get out of bed today. But we'll see. Today I'm going to be focusing on just letting the dwarves chill. And I also need to move the tavern upstairs. But first we're just letting them bring stuff to depot. I need to make scepters. 3 iron scepters. It's nice that it defaults to iron. But yeah, no, if we were still getting migrants, that would make things a lot easier. I'm kind of curious about the theory that maybe it's because of all of the forgotten beasts in the basement that we're not getting migrants. Which would kind of suck. Because I don't really want to kill my giants. But, like, it's an interesting thought. But I also, like, the last few migrant waves we got, I didn't get any notifications, like... how do you even test that? I don't know how you'd test that. That was somebody's suggested possibility, that maybe there's too much danger, so they've stopped showing up. Need more bone bracelets. At least selling those probably wouldn't make the elves mad. Well, I mean, the only thing that makes elves mad is if you sell them wood. It's very easy to keep the elves happy. Like, I've accidentally traded them wood 3 times in Longdeath, and they haven't attacked me yet. They're very happy. One of my long-term goals for this fort is I want to get a gremlin citizen. Because gremlins have the exotic animal or exotic pet tag. And if we can get a elf or the elves to bring me a pet gremlin for sale and I can purchase it from them, then I could, in theory, from there, it could petition to be a member of the fortress. And because they basically live forever and all they do is wander around and talk to people, they very quickly developed the highest possible skill level in talking and could, in theory, become a mayor that makes no demands. So that's my current long-term goal for this fortress, is I want to get a gremlin mayor. And we actually have seen 2 gremlins in this fortress. They spawned underneath and got mutilated by forgotten beasts. It's all based on death, and it's not only a message, and it's only a message, not really impacting the. Okay, so then it's not danger then. Good to know, P-Log. Yeah, so like my theory is it's just a mountain home. Although something that was really weird is last year in game we didn't get traders from the mountain home either. So I'm wondering what's going on. So currently in the news, they're not invading this because we haven't had news from them for years. So we don't actually know what's going on at the mountain home right now. Something's going on. Something is afoot. Something is wrong. Something is a mess. We don't know what it is. So, oh, also, Sui, who is one of our longest running Born in the Fortress dwarves, died yesterday. We also recently lost Swoos, who was also a really long time dwarf and the lover of my mayor, in fact. So we've lost some very old dwarves from the fort recently, which kind of sucks. Oh, I've backed up the save multiple times. Would I? Yeah. Would I tell you what I find? No. But I genuinely don't know because it started yesterday. I have backups every 10 years. I've got lots of backups. I wish that like messengers had uses aside from just like, you know, doing anything. I wish you could go request an extra migrant wave. I wish you could also go request that they stop sending migrants. Like, there's so many things that you could do with messengers in the mountain home that would be super interesting that, like, this game just doesn't do. Those are all things that I hope we get for Steam release, because I feel like those wouldn't be the biggest features for Tarn to add. Like, there's definitely weirder things he could add. There's definitely weirder things he's added. So... but I don't know. It would be cool to manage the... yeah, no, totally. I mean, part of the one of the like features of the Steam version is just all of the text options from the INI files will be in-game somewhere. So I'm very much hoping that that's something that makes it in. And also just sell them my windows. Because I can easily make more windows. Should just go collect more sand. Got plenty of bags for it. Might as well. So when my mayor finally dies, I get to sell all of my scepters. Which is probably going to happen by the end of next week. And that'll be interesting. Because when my mayor's dead, things are going to get interesting. Also, recently, we traded with the elves for another breeding pair of unicorns, as well as 2 moose cows. So we now have 2 female moose and 3 unicorns. 2 females and 1 male. So hopefully we'll start getting unicorn punicorns soon. And I'm hoping that at some point soon, the elves bring us a male moose. So we can have baby mooses. And that'll be fun. And cheers, Pat, for the channel points. But yeah, no, there's a lot of like various diplomacy options that I would love to see implemented one day, but unfortunately are pretty far off. So trade just all of this for a bar nickel. That'll work. Don't think the dwarves are actually bringing anything over right now. They really like telling the story of the Staney Hall, which is the first guild that we had form. It was a craftsdwarfs guild. They love telling that story. All right, I'm going to cancel the rock blocks job. I'm going to cancel the sand job now that I think about it. We're just going to let dwarves put stuff away for a little bit, and then we're just going to chill. And hope that they make babies. And hope that it's... and hope that it's soon. Man, when there's just like a couple wild animals and the 2 trade caravans of humans, frame rate real goes down a lot. Real goes down a whole bunch. But yeah, no, so this was the thing that we finished up yesterday up here. And this is maybe the coolest construction I've ever made in Dwarf Fortress. Like, just straight up. Like, this thing is so cool looking. It's got like this center platform, which eventually is going to have a drop chute coming out of it, which is currently a grate in the middle, just so that nobody falls into it, which is going to go down very far in the future. But it's got like this fancy roof with the fancy ramps around the outside of it. I like the way it looks so much. It's like all of the materials were acquired through trading. Still got all of this to work on. But, you know, that is probably my favorite tavern I've ever built. Just period. It's like suspended 6 Z levels above the embark height. So it's very dwarfy. Very high up and dwarfy too. It's not my favorite addition I've ever made as part of a fortress, but certainly one of my favorite things I've ever built in DF. But yeah, no, the next few months, I'm kind of planning on trying to crank up the amount of time I put into this fortress. Because I just kind of need to do that. I just kind of need to do that. It's also like completely... possible to lock this thing down with a few more additions. I could, in theory, completely seal them in here from building destroyers, but I don't know if I want to use this necessarily as a... Oopsies. I don't know if I want to use this as a bunker, so probably won't set this out to be fully lockdownable. I kind of like this more as like, oh, this is just where we spend our time generally. But general mood of the dwarves is pretty good. There is one moody dwarf around who I think is one of my military dwarves. I haven't seen him in a minute. If I see him running around, I'll highlight him, but I do have a single kind of stressed out dwarf. But here's hoping we have a couple more rounds of triplets, so. But still, attracting no migrants this season. I wonder if the mountain home's going to show up again. Does anybody remember, because ages ago, and I do mean ages ago, this was a really long time ago, way back at the beginning, there was about 15 years where we didn't get any trade caravans. Does anybody remember if we were getting migrants around that time? Because I wonder if this is just a thing that's going to happen, where we just won't get migrants and then we won't get trade caravans and then they'll all come again. Because I know that there was a period of time where we were getting no caravans, but I can't remember if we were getting migrants at that point. I want to say that my population cap was lower too. So that might also have had something to do with it back then. Because the population cap was just like 32 then, I think. That was also back when we'd still get the occasional human visitor before we were demanding tributes. Because once we started demanding tributes, the humans just stopped sending visitors, period. Which is kind of interesting. So technically we still do get visitors. They're just part of the tributes now. Also, I was about to ask for a round of beers because chat had been quiet for a minute there, but... It's kind of funny. Some people have talked about the, what do you might call it? The population dropping and like asking if I've been worried or stating that we're not worried. When it's funny, it's like the thing that I'm actually worried about isn't the population dropping and the fortress dying. That doesn't worry me. It's like if that happens and we deal with that. What actually worries me is people getting bored of the fortress and stopping watching. The year after the caravan came back? Yeah, I'm wondering. Because like I was thinking about that when I was going to bed. And I'm very much wondering now if we're gonna not get anything for a really long time and then suddenly start getting them again. Oh, another thing that we started doing yesterday, because yesterday was a very chill stream, and I know a lot of you guys missed yesterday's stream, but we are breeding Wolverines. We are breeding baby Wolverines to try and domesticate them. I am trying to domesticate Wolverines because there are billions of Wolverines in this fortress. Also, all of my roosters are dead. All I have left is hens, which is it's fine. They're just making eggs. What, breeding Wolverines? I mean, there's just a ton of them. They're very easy to catch, and they keep getting stuck in my cages. And the easiest way to train them, or the easiest way to deal with them, is to just simply trade them. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just trade my Wolverines then. I need to put some of this cloth away. I got too much cloth. Now they're just moving them all over. Getting all of that stuff put away. Funny. I wonder if whoever was depressed ceased being depressed, because it was one of the purple dwarves. It's one of the military dwarves who was depressed. But yeah, I hope you're right, B-Like. I hope that I also had a migration problem back at the beginning. And it would be really cool to just like randomly get a migrant wave bumping us up to like 50 dwarves again. That would be really cool. You ceased breathing. You have no idea how sad I am about that child dying. Like, legitimately, you have no idea. I am so genuinely sad about that dwarf dying. Because, like, no, that's not a depressed sign, though. Vim is a little tired, but... Or not Vim. Danny UG is a little tired. Danny was depressed for a bit there, I want to say. I'm also I get really sad when really long-time dwarves from the fort die. That also makes me really sad. Dwarves are still putting a few more things away. There we go. Tavern up top's got alcohol in it. I think that it's time to assign this as the simple dinner. And get rid of the simple dinner down here. We are moving the tavern upstairs. I've just got 2 more things I would like to do. Get rid of that stockpile. And this stockpile. And I'd like to move all of these big stationary instruments upstairs. And probably the artifact table as well. A dwarf will live up to be a great ducky. I'm sure. I'm sure. We will one day have a grand ducky. I just hope that this stone lives longer than the previous stones. That's my current real big hope, is that this stone lives longer than the other stones. Because most of the stones have been pretty unfortunate over the years. The biggest issue with the new tavern, though, that we'll need to fix, is there's no waterfall in the current tavern. So we'll need to fix that at some point. Be another project for the future. And one reason I think it'll be kind of interesting is because currently we have this one, right? What if I made a waterfall that like flows down this whole stairway? So whenever they're walking up and down the central stairway, they get showered? I don't know. We'll see. I got so many musical instruments. So many musical instruments. And then the tavern is done. Grand opening. It's glorious, I think. And it's crazy complex. Where are you reading them? On the wiki? Gotcha. Because that's stuff that I think is super interesting. This is kind of neat. The humans haven't moved to the upper tavern yet. Should I just make this top bit into a temple? What do you guys think? Have like just a anything goes temple kind of up above in the same space? Sure. I'm totally okay with you sharing your findings. If you find anything interesting, I think we could all find it educational. And potentially learn stuff from it. I'm really curious what area they pick as like the dance floor on here. Looks like they like that hallway. I'm also just going to add this whole area to the simple dinner. So that's also the whole tavern all the way up the end there. Yeah, I'm gonna add this upper area as a temple. Which means I'm going to defunk the underground one. Being this one. The Remarkable Temple is no longer the Remarkable Temple. We'll figure out another use for it. Maybe make it somebody's office in the future. This is now going to be the Remarkable Temple. Migraine, which is influenced and created by the wealth of the fortress, but for it to work, the liaison and the caravan need to come to assess and report it back to the mountain home. Well, I had them up until last year. They didn't show up last year, but I haven't had migrants since like year 120. Like we're in the year 180. It's been a very long time since I've had a migrant wave. And I think another thing I'm going to do, Farmer Guild Hall. Members only. Craft Guild Hall. Members only. Stoneworker. Members only. Doctor. Only actually, you know what? I will leave that one to anyone can visit, because that is also my hospital. Metalsmith Guild. Members only. Rangers. Members only. So now they're all set to members only, meaning the only people that can go to the guild halls are people who are members of the guilds. And slowly they should all just migrate up to here. And I need to put the legendary table right here. And I'll put a silver throne next to it. That's really interesting. So what you're saying is I need to stockpile stuff for a bit. All right. I will keep that in mind. So you know what I'll do? Probably queue up like... Maybe Twitch won't bug out today. That would be cool. I heard a number of people were having issues with Twitch yesterday. Yesterday was just a really quiet stream in general. Something like, I had just like 30, like I was looking at stats after the stream was over yesterday, and I had about 30 to 40% less people tune in overall. Not even just like view counts wise, but like people in chat, new follows, everything. Like was about 30 to 40% less than normal. It was a very weird stream yesterday. It was a chill stream, but weird. Also, I have this cougar that's been running around that the elves brought me. Very nice of them, but, you know. You want abstract thinking, so go do abstract thinking. I'm gonna make Belug into a scholar. Belug the second can be a scholar. Belug the first was a scholar. Belug the second can be a scholar. Looks like the humans finally made it up to the tavern. The total living and dead units in the fortress in the U units page. The sum of it for all tabs will affect once you hit 3,000. Oh, well. Yeah, we're a little bit above 3,000. And is that up to date currently? My dead units is over 5,000. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Only a little over. That would explain why I haven't gotten anything since, like, year 120. But, I mean, it's time to turn on the Dwarven breeding program. Is there any way to fix that? Lol, right. I could go into DF hack and clear that page, but that is kind of against the spirit of the... It's current according to the wiki page? Gotcha. Interesting. Well, all right. Time to spin up the Dwarven breeding. It's been done before, we can do it again. Well, autumn has come. We'll find out if we get a trade caravan this year. Just before the winter entombs you. And the Stone's like, I'm ready for paperwork. Stone, we need to give you, like, a pencil and notepad emote. Like, we need to give you that. I need to unlock, like, 10 more emotes. We just need the Steam version of DF to come out, so I become really big streamer, so I can give you, like, a pencil and a quill pen emote. Look at all those wild boars. Both of the annual tributes have arrived. Big blind BB. I mean, here's like the actual reality, Crustator. I don't want to be a big streamer. I just want to be a financially stable streamer. And financially stable for the long-term streamer. Currently, I'm financially stable. I don't know if it necessarily is financially stable for the long term. So, we'll see. You have a scroll. Infinitely, yeah. All right, let me know when you're ready for me to move down. 1 million of the clicker and you'll buy me 10 emotes. Have you looked into kickstarting that at all, by the way, Belug? One large plume Ogate. Ooh. Bronze Halebrid. Not for now? Gotcha. I still think you should, because, like, it would be like tripling down on the joke. You know what I mean? It would be like tripling down on the joke. Also, they brought us a peacock. That's lovely. And an iron whip. Ooh. I have to change my RAWs to let the dwarves actually equip that, though. I should put the Halebrid and like all the weird weapons that they bring and put them on a pedestal somewhere. I can't get over how well drawn that emote is, though, Jack Narek. That pup emote, I can't get over how well drawn it is. It's so well drawn. Well, at least this one's easy. Also, kind of half glancing at Bellinair's stream. Dwarf Romantic looks like something I'd play for a late night stream, not like something I would play in the morning. You also thought about making a thing with itch.io, like you sell them and have an objective? What do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, they're well drawn, but they're not something I would commission for. I like the way my emotes look. I like Cooler's big cartoony style. Oh, actually, I got this funny email last night, which I'm gonna read out. So I will not state who this email is from, okay? And I will also not show the email. But this was an email that I got last night, which I sent to Cooler because I thought it was very funny. The email headliner wrote, "Opportunity," all caps. "Premium intro plus end card. Hey, I'm loving your recent content, and I just subbed. I can give professional aesthetic to your videos by making premium intros and end cards, which impress the viewer and make them watch your viewer for longer. Or direct them to your other videos with an end card. If you're interested in a polished intro/end card that'll be put on your channel that'll put on your channel ahead of the competition, let me know, alongside any questions you may have. I can assure you I'm not a scammer, just a guy trying to help small creators out. Smiley face." I saw that and I laughed pretty fucking hard last night. So I sent it to Cooler and I was like, "Dude, you got competition." He's like, "I wonder what their rates are." I'm like, they better be free with an email like that. But yeah, they also commented on my last 25 videos with the exact same thing, except at the end saying, "I sent you an email. Hope to hear back soon." Also, YouTube automatically flagged them all for spam and deleted them, so I can assure you I'm not a scammer. He didn't clarify. He's not a scammer. Didn't clarify about not being a spammer. Anyway, thought that was very fucking funny when I saw that. I was like, that's... Anyway, Animal, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Twitch is still being weird. Have you tried clearing your cookies? And do you have any ad blocker? So if you have ad blocker, whitelist it for Twitch or try disabling it. Outside of that, you could try a different web browser. You could also try using something like Live Streamer, like a third-party app to run it. If Twitch is being weird, Warm Shadow. It's worth trying just to kind of like try and suss out the issues. You're on mobile, which is a whole other bucket of fish. You could try the Chatty app. I feel like trash today. Got some weird blood sugar issues this morning. I went low last night, and I think I overcompensated, so I woke up high this morning. So I just feel like garbage today, but doing all right. Coming down. Built this nice, big, fancy new tavern, and hoping my dwarves make babies soon. Yeah, for mobile, that's a big old can of worms. I also, like, never watch Twitch on mobile, so I'm not really the person to ask. There's, like, a stream I will watch on mobile, and it's like, yeah, I will watch this stream, and that's it. Is it just like a lot of buffering issues? Like what is the actual problem though? One thing you could do on mobile is make sure that you've actually updated your app, because I was running into some weird issues on the phone app, and then I learned that the reason I was having weird issues is because it hadn't updated in like 2 years. So I was running a very old version of the app, and it just needed to be authorized to do the actual update, which was weird. So I authorized it, it updated, and it's been fine ever since. That's the only like issue I ever had on mobile. So I don't know. Ponder the Encyclopedia. Ooh, that's a new one. Tumblr lock. Anton Iceland is pondering the Tumblr lock. We do indeed need to lock everybody who's used Tumblr up. So I think that that is a very good thing to be pondering. How about you? Content after pondering the Encyclopedia, Simplex. Good stuff. It might have something to do with the fact that I have a Chinese phone. And some things are a little weird because of that. Even though I'm using a different version of Android, I'm using native Android, not the weird Huawei Android. I still have weird issues with stuff updating sometimes. So that's like a pretty unique to my phone issue. I saw a dwarf tell the story of the formation of the Staney Hall at Longdeath in early autumn in the year 27 at the Simple Dinner. It is interesting. It's interesting how they're still telling that story. 168 years old, Jamie. God damn. You old soul. Tiny Goliath made a friend. I wonder who your new friend is. It's either Kade or Smash T. A goat leather cape. Huh. Can dwarves wear capes? I know they can't make capes. I'm so pleased with this tavern. But whoever wears it becomes Goatman? What? No capes, as a wise lady once said. Gazer beam, Dynaguy. Look at what happened to all of them. They wore capes. No capes. No capes. I just like that old classic Dynaguy look. You know, with the cape and the boots. No migrants. And also, early autumn. No dwarves. And another point where the enemy can... Yeah, that is true. They are indeed another point where the enemy can yoink you. Discuss eye anatomy. Maybe they're trying to fix me. How nice of them. Thank you, dwarves. Trying to fix my eyesight one day. And why we don't do capes anymore. That's, I think, part of the reason that The Incredibles is just my favorite superhero movie. Whenever anybody's like, what's your favorite superhero movie? I'm like, The Incredibles. because of that sequence. It's such a good sequence. It's just such a fucking good sequence. I like this tavern. It's big enough that like dwarves can go hang out alone and not like be bothered by other dwarves, but it's also small enough that they definitely have space to group up and dance. I really like this tavern. It's only a matter of time before someone gets punched through that window in the center and goes splat, though. They love donkey bone stuff? Yeah. Donkey, and there's also been like a lot of donkey hoof things, yeah? Also be like, have you decided whether or not you're going to charge for that clicker? Because I think free would be easier to sell to people. But donkey bone bracelets, donkey bone. They must just have like lots of donkeys. Free with donation on itch, gotcha. For Steam, you don't know? Yeah. Free with a donation DLC is probably what I would do. Free with the donation DLC, and if you get enough sales, put trading cards in it. It's just what isn't one whole ass. Well, maybe they just like. Actually, I do wonder if they've shipped us an entire donkey worth of bone crafts, and how many of them. You have to think about them. You need one called "Make the Numbers Go Up." Actually, you should get Hobo on as your advisor, because Hobo is a clicker aficionado. He plays a lot of clicker. He really likes his clickers. Like, hold on. Let me just go to my Steam friends list real quick and find me a stoned hobo. He has 1,247 and numbers go up idle. What other games does Hobo have a lot of hours in? Clicker Heroes. Grim Click. His top 3 games on Steam are all clickers. Borderlands is a clicker. You click on enemies' heads. Although 69 hours in Borderlands is like perfect. I'm just gonna throw it out there. That's the perfect amount of time. But yeah, Grim Clicker, Clicker Heroes, and numbers go up idle. I don't think he's here right now, but I think the clicker I have the most time in probably Adventure Capitalist, which I did play a good amount of. I did play a good amount of it. I just kind of had it running for a couple weeks, and then I kind of forgot that it existed. Yeah, I have 41 hours on Adventure Capitalist. I also played, like, a few on mobile, too. But the sequel, Adventure Communist, didn't ever do so well. Damn, look at all the dwarves up in the new temple. I really like this new temple. This is a good temple. $40 long yam seeds? We had long yams growing for a bit. Like quite a while, actually. Do you think it would be cool or annoying as fuck to be up on this platform and praying while there's just like people dancing and playing music and singing and telling stories in the tavern? Do you think it would be obnoxious or just chill? Well, I think that would be kind of fun. Assuming you're more of the loud praying kind of person. Worship in DF is a communal affair. What if you worship at the Church of Vomit? Which is the god of death, disease, deformity, and something. Which a few dwarves here worship. Enough dwarves worship that I made it into their own thing. Depends on who you're worshiping. Fair. I think I'm going to move the altar that's down here up top. Because it's a star sapphire altar. I think that should be up in the temple. Is it Alt-A? Yes. Which is a pretty rare type of sapphire. Interesting that the elves had star sapphires, though. Which is who we got it from. Do they menace with spikes of iron? They are definitely in my trap hall somewhere, so it would be very difficult for me to find out. And I don't see any birds getting in here, which is nice. But a Wolverine has become enraged and is fighting. Is up on my cow paddock wall. It's just enraged for some reason. As for Wyatt... Oh, Jesus! That's a lot of cow combat. And they all seem to be just, like, stomping the Wolverine. They don't seem to be winning, either. The Wolverine is still definitely there. Dwarf has had to show up to start putting the cattle away. That was quite the swarm of cows. This fucking Wolverine right here just causing problems. Let's just deal with the damn Wolverine. Someone will show up eventually and kill it. Still more dwarves coming to put these cows back. Here come the military. They'll deal with the Wolverine. Give them a minute. That was quite the swarm of cows. It's Berserk again and attacking the cows. That's funny. All right. Should be dead. There we go. Perfect. Look at all. They're still bringing cows back in. Somehow the cows made it all the way down and into my fortress. Somehow. Also, I love that they describe them as the cow child is fighting. After a round of combat, you're back up. Let's just make sure that all the kids are in good mental health. Quite literally, they all seem to be in good mental health so far. Because they quite literally are the most important dwarves in the fort right now. Yeah, exactly. Cow child. Really? What are you blinking for? How did you manage to get cave adapted? That is crazy. Huh. Man. Okay. But yeah, no, what I think is starting to happen on Twitch, and this is just my headcanon of what is starting to happen. What I think is starting to happen is people are getting vaccinated and stuff is starting to open up for people, and whole states are like kind of going back to normal. And as that happens, I think there's going to be a long period of quiet on Twitch, which is something that it's part of the reason I haven't been buying as many records and have slowed down on my synthesizer purchases, and just been kind of talking about how I need to save, because I very much think that like summer this year is going to be really hard for Twitch streamers, because there's going to be a large, I think, dip in the number of people using Twitch, because a lot of people are going to be going back to normal, and a lot of people are going to be compensating and going outside a lot as things open up and as people get back to normal. The more that happens, the more I think that we're going to kind of struggle, I guess. Not to say that it's going to be like impossible to deal with or anything, but it's certainly going to be a bit of a difference, I think, for a while. Especially for channels like mine, where I have a bit of a, well, not as much of a young audience. More of the people who watch this channel are, you know, grown-ups. So as shit goes back to normal, I've kind of, I don't know if fear is the right word to use, but I'm a little bit worried about the next few months, I guess. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. So I'm a little bit worried, but I think it'll be okay. Things will balance out. Sorry, what, Ducky? All right, I can export stuff again. Yeah, that's year 2. 2 years. We did not get any traders from the mountain home. No news from the mountain home. No nothing from the mountain home. What does not thrusting have to do with the future? I don't get it. Phrasing is another thing I would say. Lol out of context, and also phrasing. Yeah, trust and thrust are very different things. I mean, thrusting is like, you know what? You can Google it. To trust is not to thrust, my friend. A second rose gold flask. That's just a flex. Like, when you're making flasks out of rose gold, Elon likes to thrust his bad ideas on Twitter. That's what he likes to do. Charging in someone with a spear? Yeah. Yeah. In thrust we trust. I mean, now you're just talking about your thrust master. And you know, that's totally fair. We got more baby Wolverines! Yay! Which means they're gonna run around the fort randomly. We need to put them back. I'm gonna go check my blood sugar. I'll be back in a sec. Yay, blood sugar's coming down. Perfect. Third blue peacock. Should put the blue peacock in this tavern, actually. We'll call it like the tavern mascot or something. We'll call it the tavern mascot. That's literally just guess an item from Dwarf Fortress. There's so many. There's no way that we could ever make an educated or logical guess towards it. And you're the only person who's staring at it. So it's like, if you're going to play a game like that, like, let's make it actually doable. Because I have no idea. I don't even know how you've have you ordered your list by material or type of item? It's an item that's near the end of the alphabet. I don't know. There's too much stuff in Dwarf Fort. There's no way anybody could reasonably guess that. I don't know. I refuse to play in such a folly endeavor. By material or by item type? Like, what? I didn't even think about color. Weird musicals. Yeah, and also there's those. There's like things that we don't even know. How are we even gonna know? They're discussing division. Fucking math nerds. Counterization? Whoa. Are we gonna get a bunch of mathematicians soon? At least you were content after discussing division. Anxious after discussing division. Be like, no, like math. All right, I will remove you. You can go do other things. They're counting the deads. This fortress is just the slow apocalypse. You know, I had a dream last night, which wasn't a scary nightmare like normal for me, which was a nice change. And in the dream, I dreamed that there was only 2 dwarves left in Longdeath. And it became known as like this legendary tale of like just 2 dwarves being alive in the fort. There was only 2 dwarves left in the whole world. This is weird kind of thought that I had of where this fort could go. I wonder if we'll go in that direction eventually. It's hard to say. Who can say? Oh boy. Annual fire inspections are happening in my building. At some point between April 14th and April 16th, starting at 8:30 a.m. Well, actually, no, I'll be April 16th. Doing floors 5 through 3 on April 15th and 2 through 1 on April 16th. So sometime between 8:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. on April 16th, I'm going to have to let some dude poke my fire alarm. Because, you know, fire health and safety is a thing. Basically says, wear a mask and stand back. I got it. Can do. That's definitely something I can do. Oh, no. They actually haven't been doing the building fire alarm inspections since COVID started, which is lovely. It's not the just random beep, beep, beep going on in the hallways. No, it's literally just they come into your apartment and check your fire alarm. That's all it is. And it takes like 2 minutes. It's not a big deal. Assuming your fire alarm works, it's not a big deal. And my fire alarm works. Because I burnt some onions a few weeks ago, and it definitely fucking worked. I told the story of the attack on the seductions of living at the Joyous Devil at Spidery Desert by the Ignited Creation in the late summer of year 16 at the Simple Dinner, and I enjoyed that. That is an interesting tale to tell. 46 years old. This was before your time. Son of Dragon Man and Wave Thrash. Good on you, Clay. So yeah, no, I think we'll be fine. I'm going to guess 12 stone. You were born in 150, right? I mean, it just means he's done his history. That's cool, man. I'm going to make that peacock available as a pet. Make that peacock. I know lots of dwarves like peacocks, so we're going to make that peacock available as a pet after I slaughter all of these kangaroo bucks. All right. Just got to find it. The cougar's available as a pet too, but I don't think anybody will claim it. There you go. Blue peacock is now available as a pet. Someone can claim that if they want. I've given his 6. Well, I got divisible by 12. Let's do more of those. Chat, let's play guess the number of items that I wish I do have keys for Brigador I could give away if anybody gets it right, but let's play this game with stone. This is much more doable than like alphabetical items, I think. I want to puzzle over something. This is boring. I guess you're saying you want to be a scholar. We'll let you go be a scholar. What are you talking about? In the mid-spring of 101, Normal Group Channel became the queen of the Ignited Creation. 114 years old. Do you remember that? Once we've domesticated Wolverines, we should domesticate kangaroos. Oh, speaking of, the dwarves of the Eternal Adventure of Time are now expert kangaroo trainers. So there is that. We're also currently expert Wolverine trainers. We haven't domesticated them yet. We'll get there. How much llama cheese have they given us? Ooh, chat, how much llama cheese have the humans brought us since we started? Just guess a number. How much llama cheese do you think that they've brought us in tributes? I'm going to say 30. 69. I don't think that's possible. I'm going to say 30. That's my guess. 39,000? Damn. 22. No, 25. I mean, we could just take whoever gets the closest. 235, 225. Damn, going on the high end. But yeah, no, today's stream is going to be a lot of just letting the dwarves socialize and hope they have babies. And get married. No, that's not how long we've been getting tributes. We've been getting tributes for about 120 years. And it's just a single human carrying a bunch of stuff. Or a single human with a horse carrying a bunch of stuff. That's what we're talking about, not caravans. 200? All right, Stone, so how much llama cheese have they given us? Really? We got 100. Wow. 105 was the guess. Hot damn. Time for double Jeopardy. If only we could do like little trivia things with channel points. It'd be kind of cool. Oh well. I wonder if they're thinking anything about fondness after making a friend. This is what we need to see. Who's your friend? I think Trumpet. Or no, not Trumpet. Probably Abe was the new friend. Yeah, definitely Abe was the new friend. It's actually kind of impressive how close that guess was. Lots of cheese has been given to us over the years. Name a milkable animal we've been given cheese by. The council of that animal? Oh, like they've literally given us cheese from every single possible milkable animal? Because that's actually kind of wild. Oh yeah, no, it's a ton of cheese. I wonder if I make a stockpile of toys. Does anybody know where toys are in this? We under finished goods, I'd assume, right? There we go. I'm gonna make a toys stockpile up here. I'll make a few, actually. And hope that they bring all of the toys up here. Because I'm hoping it'll make the children play up here. They probably won't. They'll still, like, you know, go underground. But it would be cool if, like, I could store the toys up here. And then the kids will come up here to play. That would be really neat. Man, today I just my head just feels fuzzy. If I've had high blood sugar recently, my brain just like don't work as well, which is good that today is just like a dwarven mental health day of just chilling and watching the dwarves be dwarves. Cuz sometimes I just need those days. Also, because I haven't said this yet today, thank you very much to everybody who's tuned in, especially to those of you who got here early for records, to everybody who's just hanging out. This has always been the most, like, smallest, nichest weirdest channel I've ever been aware of. That's for sure. So, thanks for hanging out and making this channel one of the little channels that could on this website. As I, systematically do a lot of things, like, intentionally wrong, I guess. Dwarf Petra became the dungeon master of the Eternal Adventure of Time. I miss Petra. That was a good dwarf. Petra was one of the dwarves that died to the vampire who's berserk in the walls. Yep. Yeah, I just straight up wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So, cheers. Thanks for watching this weird stream. Whatever it is. Ooh, kind of an okay Humble Bundle. For once. There's some good games on every tier. I'm just going to link this in case people are looking for new games to play. That link gives me money. Scrolling up and down the tribute list is fun. Scrolling up and down long documents is fun. It's very satisfying to just watch everything fly by. What's that? Taurus. Why are you blinking? Are you nauseated? Yeah, nauseous. Being out in the sun, maybe? Felt love when talking with father. Also, both of this dwarf's pet chickens are dead. That's unfortunate. You're good friends with Cutest, eh? Be nice to see some dwarves hook up. Come on, guys. Just keep hanging out. It's actually... I don't know. Watching them congregate around the instruments is super neat. Oh, I thought you were just doing overall. Not like specific. I thought you were just talking about like all of the tributes put together, not like just the smaller factions tributes. The council has brought us so much shit over the years. But yeah, today's just going to be a lot of this. My goal is to have 35 dwarves by the end of today. So, get to it. Twitch.tv/blindIRL and the Dwarven Breeding Program. We'll see how that goes. Although, I am very happy with this tavern. Yesterday I was told that it was practically a 10 out of 10 tavern, which is a big accomplishment as far as I'm concerned. Practically a 10 out of 10. Probably one of the nicest things I've ever made in Dwarfort. Just straight up, probably one of the nicest things I've ever made. The longest dwarven fort that is heavily documented is Arch Crystal, which was 470 years before he retired it. And there is another dude who claims that he had a fort that was 600 years old, but there's very little documentation about it. And if anybody's done longer, they haven't posted it anywhere. Yes, that is Half-Life, yes. That is definitely a line from Half-Life. Did he have migration issues? I don't know. We'd have to ask Sathatos next time he comes by, but I don't think so. But you also got to remember it was a very old version of the game.
Belated subscription notice. This message will now self-destruct.
Quick chat, grab the beers. She's about to blow. Thank you very much for the 6 months, the second resub today. Cheers, man. The 6 months with Prime. Thanks for sticking around. Cold Fire. And the 7 months was stupid. Cheers. Anyone got a third one? You could do a little hype train for free. If anybody else has something. Yeah, that's been happening recently. And it's the exact same spot every time. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it happens in the same place. So I don't know what it is. Nothing appears to actually collapse whenever I get that notice. So your guess is as good as mine. Who's got 8 months? 8 months? I got 8 months. Anyone? I mean, it's I don't know. No one needs to do anything, but thank you very much, Stupid, for the 7 months. Cheers. And 6 months from Cold Fire. It would be funny if someone had an 8 month and someone else had a 9 month. That would be funny. Unless someone wants to gift a sub to Jack Nurick, which would just make it happen anyway. But or just go, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm thinking about shutting down my other temples. Because this is just a anything goes temple. I think I'm going to do that. The Temple of Vomit is so good. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Thanks, guys, though, for those Prime subs. Those Prime resubs, they add up. Like, there's times where, like, I'll just look at my revenue at the end of the day, and it's like, damn! It's like 2 hours wage came out of Prime subs today. So there's definitely days where they add up. There's definitely days where they add up. Considering it's something that so many people just kind of have anyway. Balancing my audio a little bit better. There you go. Yeah, I don't know why I've been getting this something has collapsed. So I did some, like, terraforming over here recently. I cut out a chunk of this area, and I need to do some more of that. The reason I cut out a chunk of this area was to, like, keep the trees away from my walls a little bit. Yeah, that'll count. There you go.
This count?
Prime train. Every single resub from today has been a Prime resub, too. There you go. See? Prime train. Everybody wins. I need to Google what that even is. So it's thread used in surgery. Okay. Interesting. Well, I guess that goes alongside of them discussing stitches. Just because it's the third one doesn't mean that we don't have to do a round of beers. Can I get a round of beers for Axon? Keeping that subscription alive for 16 months. Welcome back for a 16th month, dude. Tis indeed impressive. Tis indeed impressive. There are some crazy long resubs on this channel, which make it seem less impressive to me, but it's still a long time. It's a long goddamn time. It's a long goddamn time. Look at all of those dwarves. You know, it's funny. I wasn't worried about the population when I started today, but now hearing about what Belag found about migrants on the wiki, now I'm worried. Now I'm worried. Cheers, wave depletion. Also, wave depletion. You know how we were talking the other day about Behringer synthesizers? Behringer just, like, copying designs from other people? I literally watched a video last night of the Behringer Monopoly versus the old Korg Monopoly, and a vintage one. And quite literally, the Behringer one came in completely not dialed in, so it had a ton of feedback and basically just peaking issues and a whole bunch of problems internally, which he had to mod to fix. So he had to add in an extra resistor and do a bunch of old things. And Behringer insisted that this is how it's intended to be and how the original ones were. It's St. Patrick's Day? Yep. Which means I should have, like, planned ahead and painted my emote green, but I didn't do that, so. Just a panicking owl out in the skies. Why was there a panicking owl? But yes, it is indeed St. Patrick's Day. My Irish grandmother sent me an email this morning about it. And how she's very excited that it's St. Patrick's Day. There's a buzzard in my tavern. Uh-oh. Now it's leaving the tavern. Get out. They blocked you on Twitter. Okay, how did you get blocked by Behringer on Twitter? This is something I need to actually ask. How did you get blocked by Behringer on Twitter? What did you say to them? Thanks for the little hype train, guys. Cheers. Also, holy fuck, donkeys breed a lot. Mother of donks. My dwarves should take notes. Oh, fair. Yeah, I saw that keyboard when I bought my, because I actually have an Arturia key step. It's just the very little one, the very small one. And I was like looking at the Behringer one, and then I was looking at reviews of the Behringer one. I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna spend the extra $50. I think that's. I think I'm gonna spend the extra $50. And I'm glad I did. Glad that I did. Is e-waste? Yeah, I can see that. Wolverine is returned to a wild state. It's this one. Wait, what? Okay, I was gonna say, why did the door just fall down? Well, goodbye, Wolverine. That's one lost. Also got dwarves researching. I wonder if I can make more choirs. I made way too many choirs at one point, and so now I'm just like completely... Wait, what? Why do I have so many random jobs in here? Weird. So I don't have any of those queued up anywhere. What? I just have a bunch of wax crafts jobs queued up? That shouldn't be there. I just realized, like, my camera's covering this, but, like, just canceling a bunch of, like, defunct jobs that were canceled a long time ago. Odd. Although on the topic of synthesizers, I've been staring at that mini brute for a while. Not gonna buy it anytime soon, but might like very coyly ask my parents for it for my birthday. I don't have budget to buy anything for a while. Until I know exactly what summer's gonna look like. Money-wise. I have to be smart. Until basically, like, July. Then at that point, I'll have a pretty good idea of what the rest of the year will look like. Not too picky. Either or. I prefer the original one. But not super picky on that. The original one seems to be a little bit less easy to find, but easier to find used. So that I'm okay with. There's actually some people selling used ones on Amazon for like 550 CAD, which is reasonable considering the original price was $6.99. So that's a decent amount to save if I go that route, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm still quite content fucking around with the Mother 32, and the next actual purchase I want to do is just get a pedal. Get a guitar pedal. Get some reverb for the damn thing. Make it sound a little nicer. A ram has been stung by a honeybee. Damn. Beehive must have popped up. Lots of broken keys. Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind. If I'm buying something used, I'm assuming it'll probably, you know, show up or have that on the box if it's missing parts. But then again, who knows? Who knows? They do cool sounds. They do. They do make cool sounds. And they've got enough patch ports that I could do things with it and the Mother 32. Which I'm still learning stuff about. I learned how to add ratchets last night after some fiddling to sequences. And sequencer has a lot of really annoying key combinations because it only has 4 buttons. So it's like shift pattern for one thing, hold shift pattern for another thing, shift hold for another thing, shift hold keyboard for another thing. Like this, it's a lot of fucky button combinations to actually do anything on the damn thing. But fiddling. It's been fun. I should shut up about synthesizers because there's like 3 of us in chat that are very into this shit, and then everybody else is just like. Yeah, it's, every time I mess with it, it's like, I gotta open up the manual, put down the exact hotkeys that I need to remember. It's the dwarf fortress of synthesizers. That's definitely not true. Because you have the Behringer Crave, right, Zanny? I seem to recall you talking about that synth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm not complaining. Like, it's a good sequencer, and I like the sequencer. Also, it's springtime. Hopefully we don't lose any dwarves. Anyway, I like the sequencer on it. It's very powerful. It's just finicky. Because it only has, well, you would know, very few buttons. Very few buttons. Spring has arrived. I lost somebody. Somebody died. I don't know who yet, but the humans have arrived, ready to trade once again. Question is who's dead? It's not my mayor. I know who it is. Smash T. The chief medical dwarf was 150 was 160 something, I think. Of course I can, Zanny. I'd rather not, though. And writing sequences isn't the problem. Sequencing stuff is easy. It's saving sequences, swapping from sequence to sequence, editing pre-saved sequences. That's what's tricky. And the key step doesn't help with that. Buffalo water skin. 5 two-humped camel cheese. 1 raw green glass, 5 asparagus. Let me know when you're ready. Stone. Man, I'm sad. Smash T was a good dwarf. I like that dwarf. Friends with many of my other dwarves, too. Like how I totally didn't wait until Stone said he got it. I'm assuming he got it. Let's just make sure that I have coffin available. Cool, I do. Wait, what? And apparently Cadanza was put in prison again. Because I missed something. Bloody demanding mayor. Even more reason for my dwarves to just make friends. And thanks, Pilot Guy. Keystep has some things that the Mother 32 doesn't, though. It has an arpeggiator. So it can play pseudo arpeggios for you. They're closer to the desert. They're further north than us. Not by much. Well, no, actually, they're further south. They're down here. There's no desert. Desert's like, the only like kind of tropical areas up here by the elves. Maybe they're trading with the elves? It's hard to say. All right. I'm going to unassign that coffin and reassign that coffin. There we go. Now someone's coming to get it. Mysterious camel. I mean, I've had camels, and I've seen them, like, bring tradable camels. Maybe they're, like, cool climate dwarf fortress camels that have just adapted to living in cooler areas. They're like a small two-humped camel, like that. Their humps are little because they're constantly ready to be in these areas. Man, I'm sad. Losing Smash T. Fucking bummer. So many good dwarves have died. So many. Sad times in Longdeath. Fitting music, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna make the Shrine of Gems inactive so that they go up to the tavern instead. I'm doing or shutting down a lot of things that I've constructed in this fort. Oh, the elves are here to trade. I think they brought something cool for us, actually. Yeah, they brought us an interesting pedestal. Unless that's a magma man. But I doubt that. It's their own color anyway. Or no, a fire imp. I think fire imps are that color, aren't they? Or are they red? I doubt that's a fire imp. If that's a fire imp, I will freak out, though. And absolutely buy it. Are fire imps exotic pets? Nice distance. I think I'm going to put a trade depot up here. Make it out of nice materials. Just as something for them to look at, you know? I will not reclaim and retire the fort. As part of the original whole idea and goal of this fortress, I said I won't do that. That would be considered a loss. Sad days. I want a pet fire imp now. Too spicy. Fire imps are too spicy to be pets, yes. They may cause your fort to spontaneously combust. Dragons, though, not too spicy. Dragons are an acceptable pet. Especially for an elf. Fire imp would be a bad pet. They just, like, make their tree houses burn. Although I'm sure that they would hate the fire imps. Just on the basis that they would burn all their trees down. They would probably claim exterminatus on those. I was talking about YouTube on my team Discord with one of my teammates. And they were like, yeah, well, I'm doing YouTube for variety stuff. And I'm like, I have variety on YouTube. I got Dwarf Fortress and Dwarf Fortress news. Oh, I know big fun toys. What is that? I'm assuming it's a pedestal. I don't see no pedestal. That's a little frustrating. It was yellow. It looked fancy. Grown brimstone pedestal? You can grow brimstone? What? I mean, according to the internet, that's brimstone. So they grew wooden decorations for it? I mean, I can't look at it in his in their inventory. I have to trade for it, so. You can with V? Well, too late. I bought it. I was going to buy it anyway, though. So. I'm just going to place it somewhere. Why am I forgetting all the hotkeys? Display furniture. Why would they do that? Becky? Also, how is that relevant to literally anything? It's a grown brimstone. It's encircled with bands of ginkgo wood. Huh. All right. Decorated elven buckets before with artwork of druids being selected? Huh. Couldn't afford the history. I always afford the history. I mean, a lot of the stuff that's in this tavern was purchased. Most of those instruments were purchased. What's interesting is over the years, we've learned how to play them. The knowledge has been passed down through dwarves. The humans have taught us, and the dwarves have learned by watching, which is very interesting. One of my favorite little bits about Longdeath is just how integrated the human culture is in the dwarven society these days, just from them coming to visit every year and multiple times a year. But yeah, looks like you guys are right. It's got grown elven decorations on it, which is really interesting, I guess, then, because they don't really craft anything. So then would they buy it from somebody and then add the crafts on, and then grow the decorations onto it? Because that's kind of neat. It'd be really neat if I could, like, sell the elves something, get them to take it home, put decorations on, and then I buy it back from them later. That would be really neat, actually. You found the screenshot of an elf art on a bucket. Elf art on a bucket is the name of the screenshot. It's a well-titled screenshot. Mine would just be entitled whatever numbers my OS decides to assign to it. I'm very bad at naming screenshots. It's like 7,500 numbers. Usually with the date in there somewhere and maybe the name of the software included. I got so many screenshots like that. I'm really bad at digital organizing. I've been better about keeping my recent video projects organized, but so the elves don't cut down trees to make things. The elves use their druidic magic to grow things into the shape of tools that they need. So they basically ask the trees really nicely to grow into the shape of a sword, or they ask the trees really nicely to grow in the shape of a table, and then they remove it from the tree and use it, right? So they make grown wood. Elves chop down tree and cut tree into shape of thing. The elves don't like cut down trees, cut into the shape of thing in the form of carpentry. They don't like that. But if you have grown wood, so if you have grown wood, a grown wood barrel that you bought from the elves, you can trade that back to the elves. Does that make sense? It's the method of making the wood into things. If the elves had growing technology that they could give to the dwarves, and then the dwarves could do that, then they would be totally fine with that. I actually kind of wish that we could do that. I wish that was a thing. It would be really, really neat if they could give us their growing technology, but alas, we cannot. That's sort of like saying that, like, vegan don't eat meat, but vegan eat vegan sausage. Seems sus. It's like, well, vegan sausage doesn't have meat in it, so... But more talking and more history from the looks of things. I'll see you posted the screenshot to Discord. I wonder how common elven art is. Like, something that I think is really neat is, like, stuff that's been encrusted that comes from the humans. Or stuff that has, like, bits of artwork in it from humans. I think that shit's really neat. The elves have left out on their journey. I think I know what I'm going to build over here. I'm going to build another round building, except not with a center hole in it. Use that as some sort of upper building for up here. I have a little doorway heading over there. But I need to not do that just yet. The dwarves need to hang out up here for a bit. Man. So I guess that if we do start getting migrants again, though, Belug, we'll know that the wiki is wrong and we need to edit it. Although, I'm in an older version, so... That's a good question. We'll know that the wiki is wrong and we need to edit it if we start getting migrants again. Also wonder if Sathatos was using DF hack. I know that Sathatos was using Tilesat. I wonder. One thing I also know about Archcrystal is Archcrystal was before moods. That's how old Archcrystal is. So it was before Dwarven mental health was a problem. So we didn't have to worry about dwarves tantruming and stuff. So there was a lot less stuff. It was also before the friendship system was in. So Archcrystal had a very different set of requirements to keep the fortress running for 480 years. Coldfire, if you're lurking in chat, does that animation have sound? As I'd love to watch it, but I don't want it to like accidentally like make sounds. There's no sound on it? Is that MS Paint animation? Here, I'll show it. This is what I'm talking about. It's quite the tongue on that thing. I love, like, just the, oh no! Just that. Happy, and then just that. Just that face. That face. Just that. It's funny. I like it. It's good stuff. Critta? Hungry. Yeah, exactly. Me right now, actually. I'm hungry. Means I should go get food in a couple minutes, I think. It's just, it has a half second where it just goes. I just meonch. All right, streamer's gonna go get food because streamer's hungry, and not because of Frog. I literally just got hungry in the last few minutes. So chat, if you happen to have access to the sound commands, which are $7 a month on Patreon, could I hear some of those sound commands so you can entertain the chat? And to those of you who have any emotes or the ability to type in chat, can I get a round of beers? I will be back in a couple of minutes, wielding a sandwich and ready to murder it. And then you get to witness the murder of a sandwich. BRB.
It's a Unix system. I know this.
NANI?!
This is my favorite roguelike on the Citadel.
Woohoo!
No! Something I've also been wondering about recently is this whole shindig, this whole thing started because someone on YouTube said, you should make a fortress and keep it alive for 1,000 years. I wonder if that person has watched a single episode of this. Because I can't remember what their name was, and I need to go back and find it. Was what 2 Steps from Hell? I don't know what 2 Steps from Hell is. If you're asking about music, probably not, because all of the music is just generic licensed music. Written by a music licensing company that sells them at a flat rate. Play things with people in person? You're allowed to do that? Weird. Quite literally, yeah. Probably not. Highly unlikely. Is the actual answer to that, Cold. Highly unlikely. All of the music you are hearing is licensed from a company called Dark Fantasy Studio, which had a Humble Bundle a while ago, and then I went and bought like another $150 worth of their music. So I have like 3 gigs of music. And another like terabyte that I haven't downloaded. $30 gigs currently installed. So we have to fix it if I get migrants. I'm very doubtful that I'm ever going to get migrants again, though. I really need to tie up those other Wolverines. Or put a trap to catch them. Yeah, it would be. It would indeed be nice. I was really kind of hoping that I would come back from food to have the report of a child has been born. But, you know, serve strawberry wine. Hey, Nervicious is actually doing their job. And ironically, this dwarf made friends and really likes their job. I don't believe I've ever made a tavern keeper and seen the purple exclamation point next to their job. Oh, you're the tavern keeper. They're vicious. You are the tavern keeper. I'm seeing a baby Wolverine running around. I need to repasture it into here. Yeah, you're the tavern keeper. Yeah, you're no longer depressed. We fixed you a while ago. You occasionally get depressed, but you seem kind of like Clay and a couple of my other dwarves, where occasionally you get depressed, and then we just put you into the military, and you train with a spear for like a year, and it fixes you. You're very much a workout fiend, right? You're just a gym rat, Abe. So we need to put you into the military occasionally to just let you train for a very long time. Yeah, it is interesting. I wonder. Generally knowing DF, it's probably a bug. Or like a unconsidered limitation. What, being a gym rat? Hey, Patchwork, what's up? Tis good to see you. This is good. This is the most dwarves I've seen in the tavern in a while. That's good. Did it go well? You're more of a couch potato? Fair. I've actually started working out again because I've been getting achy and sore from not working out enough. I was down to working out about 1 day a week, and I was starting to get weird pains in my shoulders and in my knees and in my hips, and I started working out for a bit, and it fixed it. Do you want a link to the website, Chan Sigma, for the dwarves or the background noise I use? Here, I'll give you a link. It's all free to use and run by donation, so. There you go. And it's one of those sites that's kind of like, it's kind of like Wikipedia, where they just very politely ask every so often, hey, could you please give us $5 because you use us a lot? And so I'm giving them $5 a year. I was like, well, that's very cheap. Here you go. It's kind of a neat story that the guy that runs it actually like travels around the world and goes on location and like records 10 hours of each of the sound. So it's like literally 10 hours of bird chirping played at random intervals. So it is noise generation. Their YouTube channel just is one of those YouTube channels that just puts up 10,000 hours or 10-hour videos of all the different sounds that he's recorded. So he also is on Play Music, Spotify, Apple Music, and all that stuff. They have a ton of different ones, including like sci-fi beep boop sounds and like medieval sounds. Yeah, it does seem like a fun job. It's pretty great. Like, it's got Gregorian chants, Japanese Garden, which is what we're currently listening to, Primeval Forest, which I listen to sometimes. Distant Thunder is a nice one. White Noise is just static. White Rain, Pebbly Beach, Singing Bowls, Summer Night Sounds. Yeah. Oh, some of these I've never listened to. Like, I've never listened to this one. I don't even know what this is, but Autumn Walk is really nice, although I'll mute the footsteps sound because they get a little bit ASMR-y for me. Space Sounds, Beep Boops. Yeah. They're neat. And that's a Forgotten Beast. In the basement, though, so it's safe. Forgotten Beast Mup. Bitrak Pugsock has come. An enormous hairy mite. It has wings and is weak as hell. Wings of stretched skin, and it belches and croaks. Its dark pink hair is patchy. Beware its deadly blood. It lurks into the map and is probably going to get eviscerated by one of the others, because this is a very weak one. It might not even be a threat to me. I don't see a GPU mining farm sound. I mean, was that a cave crocodile? I think that was. Yeah, it was just a cave crocodile. Isn't that just like CPU fans? Just a sound? I'm pretty sure I could make a GPU mining farm sound, just record my computer running for 10 hours and then just stack it. I'm not too worried about this, so. I think I'm going to move the library up here pretty soon, actually. Put a building over here that'll be the library. Eventually, the pit fort will become the old fort. The sky fort will be the new fort. The way going forward. Lonely after being away from family. Your whole family is dead, though, so... I don't know what we can do for that. That's a problem. Although your nieces and nephews are alive. Go hang out with your nieces and nephews, Simplex. You know you've got a big tavern when you've got two dwarves telling different stories at the same time. What just happened? Why did they all suddenly run off? Oh, they're all running to go pen pasture stuff. What happened to my... Oh. Wolverines in the cow paddock again. I think I need to slaughter some cows. I think that's the thing I need to do. You know, I'm just going to not slaughter my unicorns. But I'm going to slaughter, like, a bunch of other things for a little bit. Oh, hey, Simplex claimed the pet peacock. That peacock that was brought to us is now a pet. Good stuff. Dwarves are going to be busy for a little bit, because we got a lot of slaughtering that needs to be done. But it's also early summer, so it's good working season. God, that's so many cows. You know, I always think about this, but whenever this is happening, this would be the absolute worst time for a were creature to attack. It's like if we got attacked by a were creature right now, we'd be in a shit ton of trouble. So game, hear me? No were creatures right now. Speaking of GPUs, Wave, were you ever actually able to get that GPU that you were looking for? Because you were one of those poor souls trying to get a new graphics card. Pen pasturing and slaughtering a tons of animals. You did? Man, congrats. Most of the people I know who are trying to do that have given up currently. Same with new consoles. I know very few people that... I know very few people who've actually managed to get any of that stuff. There is a GPU mining farm sound. Just put the one slider to the max. I want to click on this, so this might be loud. That does actually sound like a GPU mining sound. It's just fans. Yep. This checks out. You can even generate a Bitcoin, the natural sound of Bitcoin growing on the vine. And altcoins growing on the vine. The sound that we're going to hear when we all fucking die, because that destroys our planet. Hear that, chat? It's the sound of the apocalypse. The natural sound of Bitcoins without the environmental impact. But also missing the cha-ching sound. Also, did I dream this? Or... Actually, no, I'm pretty sure I dreamed this. But why... And this is a genuine question. Why hasn't EA Games put FIFA on the blockchain? Why haven't they done that yet? The GPU stock problems is why you got some synths. Although aren't like just aren't even synthesizers being affected by that shit now? More humans have arrived to trade. Seriously though, why haven't they put FIFA on the blockchain? Just put Ultimate Team on the blockchain. Like, on behalf of the Merchants Guild, let me extend my greetings to your people. I hope that one day your population flourishes again. Man, I wish I could request merchant workers from the humans. Could you imagine if we could request merchant workers from the humans? It's like, if they're bringing you a tribute, you could request merchant workers. Fuck, that would be cool. Man, that's suddenly like my most desired feature, which we're never going to get. On behalf of the Merchants Guild, let me bid farewell to you and your stout dwarves. Yeah, but wouldn't it be a way for them to get around the legality of loot boxes? Would be putting it on the blockchain and then just simply keep a portion of every trade. I know that I say just simply, but there's other companies doing that. I mean, it would be awful, but it is a thing they could do. Yeah, I'm just thinking of things that EA Games might do if loot boxes become completely pushed out of the legal realm. Which hopefully will happen. Because like they just made it they just had a big old scandal with employees selling stuff via Telegram and cryptocurrency and money transfer. Like, directly selling the rarest cards in the game for, it was like 2,000 euros? Or was it 2,000 American dollars and like 1,700 euros? I can't actually remember. I need to go look it up. But they literally just had that scandal like a couple of days ago. Which I glanced at for a minute and went, huh, that's horrible. And then like stopped thinking about it, so. Which is kind of crazy. Talk about no contactless, no, you mean no content delivery? Oh wait, no eye contact delivery. There you go. What's up, Armor? How you doing? It's good to see you. Yeah. But they did, and supposedly it had been going on for a while. What I'm surprised by is that, imagine how, or what the behind the scenes work environment must be like in order for them to literally just ignore that shit. Like, I want to know how long that's been going on in the background. And I'll bet you it also confirmed a lot of, like, fan conspiracies, right? Because, you know, I remember hearing conspiracies about Riot Games selling rare skin codes internally online. Because, like, there was, like, PAX Twisted Fate and a bunch of other, like, super limited skins that were available for sale via code on eBay for, like, $1,000 back in the day. I remember that being a thing, and I remember a friend of mine actually buying one. It was like $1,500 or something for these rare skins. And it was to the point where, like, these rare skin shops popped up online where it's like, oh, what do? We sell skin codes. It's like that was there was like a whole like mini business that popped up around League of Legends for a little while where people were just like hoarding these skin codes at PAX and other events where they had limited edition skins, and they were reselling them on the like not even the black market. Like it was like legitimate like business trusted skin shops that they were selling. It was very strange, and then at some point Riot Games just like shut the whole fucking thing down and made those codes time limited so they could no longer sell them. This is very strange. Twitch is meditate on lust. Stop meditating on lusting and go be lusty. You have a bajillion friends. Go fuck one of them, please, Dwarf. I need babies. Stat. You have your eye doctor on your contacts list. I just thought of a really dumb Patreon tier. Be like, you were asking me about dumb Patreon tiers and at one point, and so was Freskins. I just thought of one. I'll just give a really high Patreon tier people the access to text to speech. And just let you guys make shit up in text to speech. Just limit it to like 3 people or something. Because you can limit certain tiers on Patreon. It is dumb. Freskins was asking about dumb higher text-to-speeches for a while. That's something that we could do that would be really dumb. Now I just need to think about how much to charge for it. I don't know if I like it. I need to think about it. Wow, wow, wow. Man, all of these cows. I have no idea. I don't think it's something that the bot does. $90? Yeah, a month, of course. It would be like $5,000. $5,000. See, $90 is like something where I put my eyes up and go, yeah, I could limit that to 5 people. But like, $5,000, I don't know about that. And I wouldn't make it unlimited. It would have a cooldown. It would have to have a cooldown. You could easily make that work. Chat, is this something we want? Max every 90 seconds? I was thinking like every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes tops. Fucking, there's something about the fact that my fortress is filled with chicken soap that makes me laugh a little bit. We have like 500 chicken soap right now. Not 500, but we do have a lot of chicken soap. All right, I need to sell something to the humans. I'm already seeing something I should sell. Chicken soap, yes. Soap made out of chicken fat. Or chicken tallow, specifically. I mean, do you not know how soap is made out of tallow? You can make, like, that's how soap is made traditionally. I'm just taking a quick peek at my Patreon tiers in the background. As I do already have an $89.99 tier that's limited to $5, where it's just like, I'll think about something. I'll think about it. The thing is, on the text-to-speech, I'd want there to be spam protection. That or, like, a gentleman's agreement that no one does that. That would be, like, the requirement, though. So I've renamed my $90 a month tier to thanks, I hate it. Done. It's limited to 5 people. Go nuts. Be like you get to program a thing. It's a lot of clothing getting traded. Okie do. Oh no. Add a word story with Blind. Enjoy a private game of adding word stories. Blind promises 1 word a week. Could you imagine that? Like an exponential tier where every patron gets to add 1 word and I have to read it once a week as like a Sunday, like, what's the word? Like that would be like 52 words per week. And I would I'll just record it and upload it to a YouTube channel or something. That would get wild. It's like after 10 years, it's just like still not that long. Depending on how, That could be like the fucking Pixel website though, where you buy a pixel for $1. It's just add a word to this thing for $1 and I will record it. Oh shit, the Forgotten Beasts fought. Are they still fighting? Yeah, they are still fighting. I think one's dead. What the fuck is that? I've never seen a spider web before covered with Forgotten Beast extract. Gross. It's not a bad idea. Oh, they're fighting. The mite versus the... Okay, the mite's dead. Another one bites the dust. Murdered by the glass boy. This thing isn't even tired, man. This thing is a monster. I should drop a boulder on it. Here's the thing. You say it's low effort. You say it's low effort. Cold fire. But in 10 years, I'm reading like just a wall of text and recording it. It's like 10 hours of text once a week. I just have it all memorized. Maybe this is how I make a living once I'm completely blind. This thing is moving around again. It hasn't been this active in a very long time. It's killing fucking helmet snakes and shit. God, it's moving. Also, what did it just kill? Troll, helmet snake. Yeah, okay. Well, they're paying like $250 a month, assuming I put it on a low tier. I don't know what tier I would put it on. I don't think that would be a new tier. That would be like a added benefit for old ones, I think. It's just reminding me of this old tale that my mom told me when I was younger. I don't know how old this story is or anything. Did I actually trade with the humans? I don't believe I did. Whoops. Anyway, this reminds me of an old tale that my mom told me when I was younger, which was this story of these 2 little kids that told a farmer that who was looking for workers, that they would do work on the farmer's farm for 1 cent a day. But every single day, their wages doubled. But initially, it was 1 cent a day. And then after, like, 10 years, they owned the farm. That's what that's reminding me of. The once a week, you get to add 1 word. And then I record it and upload it to YouTube. Dwarf Fortress? Dude, I would 100% play a Star Trek conversion for Dwarf Fortress, just called Dwarf Fortress. Although, you could do like a Klingons overhaul mod called Dwarf Fortress. You could also do a... The only problem with that is it would have to take place on Klingon, and all of the races would be Klingons. And it's just all war all the time. I would 100% play that mod. If somebody made a Dwarf Fortress mod, I would do that. I'm going to write that on the Discord. That's just Space Station 13. Space Station 13 is just every single sci-fi thing, and also Space Station 13 is multiplayer. I would absolutely play a Space Station 13 Dwarf Fortress mod as well. You could also very easily make a Space Station 13 Dwarf Fortress tile set. It's just one of the dwarves is just a were creature or something, guaranteed, after X amount of days to actually create the... Except it just turns them into the clown. Someone needs to do that. But yeah, go take a nap, past time. Have a good nap. I like that one. You could have like fucking Q show up as a forgotten beast. Just like snaps his fingers and everybody just dies. Nah, that's probably bad. You could have a whole species where everybody's just Data from that one Data episode. Would the Q have to wait in line? Yes. The evil Riker. Riker would just be an adventurer. The evil Riker from an alternate universe. All Rikers are evil. I like Riker. Evil Riker with beard, and then not evil Riker without beard. That's how you tell them apart. Man, I need to rewatch Star Trek again. I need to go watch DS9. But yes, I would play Dwarf Fortress if someone wanted to make a Klingon expansion. My favorite email to get from anybody is from Streamlabs when they send me emails about how they're selling their apps for Streamlabs OBS for 20% off. And then I remember, oh, right, Streamlabs does that. And then it makes me happy because of how stupid that fucking business model is for Streamlabs. Good luck selling me that shit. You wild, crazy people. Comes with unlimited data. Man, I would buy that phone. Unlimited data, that sounds good right now. Actually, something I did recently, I actually dialed my phone plan back with my provider because a couple months ago because I had 5 gigs of data and I'd used like 100 megs of data in the last 6 months. And I was like, well, COVID is going to make me save money on my phone plan now too. So now instead of paying $90 a month for my phone plan, I'm spending $40 a month. And I have 500 megs of data again. So hopefully the pandemic doesn't end. So, you know, can keep saving this. Or hopefully I just stay inside afterwards and don't need to up it. Odds are pretty good. Once I start going outside again, I'll have to pay more for that. Oh, no. Streamlabs OBS is free. I know that Streamlabs OBS is free. But Streamlabs OBS has an app store in it. It's free with microtransactions. Streamlabs Prime is another thing they sell. Yeah. You didn't know that Streamlabs OBS has microtransactions in it? Well, let me tell you. Then again, 4 gigs is only 11 euros there. Yeah, well, I'm not in Europe. I wish that Canadian cell phone providers were cheaper, but they are not. You never used it? It's trash. Don't. It's very much like I've been calling it the Chrome of OBS clones because it's literally how much RAM is OBS using right now? For me, 749 megabytes of RAM is currently being used by OBS Studio to stream, right? Well, let me tell you. The one time I tried Slobs, without streaming, it was using about 1 gig. With streaming, it uses way more, especially if you start throwing their fucking overlays and shit in. It just uses so much power. In theory, though, I could close Chrome while using it because I could just put chat. But then normal OBS updated to just have like integration, so I could just put chat and all my notifications and stuff in OBS if I wanted to, which I don't, so I don't. It's too late. There's already multiple sound command options on the App Store for Slobs. There's one that integrates with channel points, which is free, and then there's another one which has bits integration, which is not free. And then there's another one that has like called Lightbot, which is exclusive to the Slobs App Store, which will tie into any smart lights in your house, and you can change the color of lights. Yeah, way ahead of you. But in theory, you could probably get Streamers Annoyatron on their App Store. You could also probably put it on the Twitch App Store. There's a fucking Kia in my tavern. I haven't seen a Kia in this fort in a very, 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 very long time. Kill those motherfuckers. There's an invader in our midst. Triple kill. There's another one. Four. Pretty sure you just one-shot. 5. And 6, I think? Yeah, there's a 6th. Maybe it's the new tavern. They really like my new tavern. Well, I need to seal off the other side. From IKEA? No, from the humans. Actually, no, from New Zealand. IKEA's from Sweden, so. Go get him, Dorse. I'm gonna have a real hard time getting that. Damn it. I was hoping that was a baby notification, but nope. Wolverine has returned to a wild state. Wolverine has been returned to a wild state. My beautiful tavern is now covered in blood. Fitting. I like it. Cave crocodiles being murdered by a forgotten beast. Man, this forgotten beast is like more active than I'd like now. It more or less stood still for 50 years. Now it's moving again. Hey, Zest. How's things? Now cover it in more blood? But. Zest, I'm actually like very worried. Very worried going forward. Super concerned. Because, well, numbers are dwindling. That would be spoilers. Because I know you've been watching on YouTube, or at least were. Are you still keeping up with it? It's been a minute since I said hi. But then again, I think you've had like a month. You were around 50? Oh, damn. Last I talked to you, you were around 15. You were like on episode 10 or something. That's impressive. I know that, I think the most I'd heard was like, recently I was notified by a pretty long-time viewer that one of the episodes was not in the playlist, and I fixed that. Yeah, around that. I've had Forgotten Beasts that have been in the fort longer than that. Because I opened up the cavern lair on year 50. Or not 50, on year 105, rather. On year 100. And it's been at least, or like 82 years since I did that. So. Trade fort besides the monthly offerings, not too much happens? No, totally. No, I'm well aware. Unfortunately, I don't have too much power to make more happen. Aside from very slowly building stuff. Which is something I was actually talking about earlier, is that my biggest concern with this fortress is not it dying. If it dies out slowly, I'd be okay with that. Because then I can attempt it again. But my actual worry is that it's gonna... that people are gonna get bored of watching. It's my actual streamer worry. Regardless, though, it's good to see you. I'm amazed you made it up to episode 50. I don't know anybody who... This isn't necessarily a challenge, but it's kind of a challenge. I don't have anyone yet who has told me, I'm going to watch from beginning to end who has actually done it. Everybody that I know who has started has dropped off in the like mid to late 30s. So it's kind of a challenge, I guess. But at the same time, the Longdeath playlist as a whole gets more views than every single Today in Dwarf Fortress I've ever done combined. Granted, there's way more episodes of Longdeath than Today in DFs, but still interesting. Just take a day or two break and resume? Wow. Yeah, you'll catch up. Just glancing at a thing. I have a few things as just in cases. Yes, it is indeed autumn again. It is indeed autumn again. We'll see if we get dwarven traders this year. I mean, I haven't been doing any building today because today is just like letting the dwarves talk and hopefully, air quotes, make babies. Hopefully. Because I've learned some things mechanically about DF that I'm concerned about. Now I'm worried! That one's easy. Ooh, an anvil. An oaken training axe. Cat leather quiver. Although, that being said, in regards to the Today in Dwarf Fortress videos, I am actually working on one. It's been a while. My current, like, main goal for this fortress, though, is to just be longer than Arch Crystal. But I have some bigger construction projects planned. I just need to be very, very, very careful. Specifically, I want to dig down into the caverns and build in and dig in the caverns. But I need the upper fortress to be done first. Specifically, what I want to do is now that I have this target, I want to start working on a very, very, very deep pit. But in order to do that, I have to get past the cavern layer. And in order to do that, I have to dig around in the cavern layer and know exactly where I can dig. So... a lot of pink? Oh, you mean like up here? Yeah, that's all the rose gold. Around the edge of this. But here's the big one. Ooh, a yak leather skirt. They really like bringing me yak bone stuff. Oh, the trader lad? Wait, what do you mean the trader lad? Oh, hey, they brought us another eagle. Oh, another thing that we're doing is we are domesticating Wolverines. The thing I'm doing. Oh, okay. I know what you mean. I'm assuming you got it. Well, I mean, I've got this, which is just here to be pretty looking. But down here, this one is also made out of the same material, so. Well, actually, is this one the same material? No, this one's rose gold, and I think this one's also rose gold. I imagine that it's 5 kilograms. Yeah, they're both rose gold, so they're both made out of the same material. Because I'm fancy. I'm fancy. Let's just let them finish doing this. Yeah, no, totally. I mean, they say that if you play a lot of Dwarf Fortress, you'll have a minor in geology after learning the game. Because you'll know what every single material in the game does. But, yeah, for the future, we are, or rather, I am making... I've already made that tier, so be like, whenever you get a chance, I need you to make me an actual streamer at Noyatron. I'm still thinking about the actual cooldowns on it, though. I don't know how long I want the cooldowns to be. But, and whether or not it's global or per person. Probably per person. But. Probably do it this weekend. Yeah, that's fair. It's also so expensive, I very much doubt anyone will actually buy it. That's the other thing. Most copper form is 75% gold and 25% copper. Yeah. It's just a pretty color of gold. I've actually seen rose gold, because, when I was younger, like, very little. We went on a vacation up in northern BC, and one of the places we went to was a now defunct gold mine. And one of the things that they had was a display of different types of gold and gold alloys. And they were like, you know, behind bulletproof glass in a container. But it was like a piece about that big of gold and then various different gold alloys, which was interesting. And one of the ones they had was rose gold. And I remember it being kind of reddish pinky colored. So something, I've had those unicorns for a bit now, and no baby unicorns, no punicorns. And we're into early autumn and still no dwarven traders. No nothing, no news from the mountain home whatsoever. This is weird. Being in the world with no news of the mountain home. No news from the mountain home whatsoever. Oh, Electrum was new to you? That's pretty common in cheap Chinese jewelry. Although they don't call it Electrum. They call it gold. Pure gold is very soft and malleable, which is why most things are gold-plated. Am I the last fort? No. No, there is, what's it called? 3 other fortresses, and I think 6 helixes in this faction. There's another dwarven civ that's pretty active, but I can't get migrants from them. Food rot? Yeah. I mean, when I'm butchering like 5 cows per minute, we get bits and pieces faster than I can haul them, so they do rot often. But I've gone from having 2,000 meat to having 6,000 meat in my stockpiles, so. But I need to keep my animal numbers down so they don't get too hectic to manage. So I'm just dumping it. Food waste. Because I don't have big enough stockpiles. I just need to get rid of the animals. Looking pretty and being valuable. And investing. Patchwork. Doesn't oxidize, which is why it's good for connectivity. And antiquated human rituals like wedding rings. My headphones have gold in them. It's one of the selling points as part of them. It's like gold connectors or gold-plated connectors. Yeah, those hella costly things indeed. It's just that copper oxidizes. That makes sense, yeah. Because it's expensive, Patrick? And because people don't want things to last. Most consumer electronics are made with a planned expiration date. Not made with the expectation that the user is going to use it for an extended period of time. They're made with the expectation that the user will use it for 6 months to a year and then get something new. So the reason you wouldn't see them in most of your consumer electronics is because it's expensive. That's miasma. There's no death fog on this map. This isn't a haunted biome. It's just some rotten meats. Because I just slaughtered 100 cows. But, yeah, it's fine. So I'm just chucking it. Mashing it real quick. Could you imagine trying to do this challenge in a haunted biome? That would be fun. Not. That would be boring. Hide underground forever. Never go outside. Be just like current years. In DF, not without mods. Is that? Death Fog is spooky. Death Fog is spooky. I did a map with Death Fog relatively recently. My Halloween map back in October had Death Fog. In one corner of the map that would spawn occasionally and look spooky and then float away. I thought I made this unactive. What? Huh. Apparently you can't make temples inactive. Today I learned. Kia Corpse is still there. Let's just deconstruct and reconstruct the statue so that I can get the Kia Corpse off of it. Yeah, haunted biomes have fog sometimes, which anything it touches turns into a zombie. Just embarked on a terrifying embark. It rained filthy slime. Dwarves got caught in that rain. Would fall to the ground unconscious. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I've never found the haunted biomes to be particularly fun. I do, however, find haunted biomes that are halfway non-haunted biomes that are like untamed wilds. That's fun. Because then half of the map is really scary and kind of dangerous, and the other half is like can be dangerous at times. See, I don't find it fun. Like I mean I'm not sure if you're talking about fun as in like everybody dies or fun as in actually fun, but I don't find it fun. A lot of the haunted effects are just I would rather just not have to deal with it. I wish I found it fun, but I find Untamed Wilds biomes to be a lot more fun. I did a haunted biome embark once that was pretty normal. Aside from like once or twice a year, we'd get like, I don't know, 50 undead elks just like wander across the map in a pretty short period of time, which would just like insta-gib any dwarf that walked up to it. So that was pretty fun. But the sludge rain and stuff is just... It's not that they're OP, it's just dig straight down and hide underground forever. So suddenly, like, your construction abilities are super limited. Like, you can't do any of this, like, weird, large sky constructing because you're just, like, covered in acid all the time. It's like... Like, I don't know. I just... For me, it's just... dig downstairs, get everybody underground, get all the stuff underground, lock the upstairs. That's haunted biomes for me. It's just, I don't find that particularly fun, but to each to their own. To each to their own. You've never been a ring person? I've always found rings to be absolutely obnoxious. I wore a ring for a bit when me and my ex were engaged, and yeah, it was annoying as shit. Volcano biomes are too easy again. Like, I like volcano biomes. They're fun for a bit, but then they just kind of get boring. I like doing like fun shenanigans with lava, but then at the same time, at that point I'd rather do like a deep, like my favorite type of fort to do if I want a hard fort is just a normal ass like calm or like wilderness biome, and then you just build in the third cavern layer. That is fun. Like if you want a fun challenge, build in the third cavern layer, because you just get weird animals attacking you all the time. It's like cavernous cave crawlers, jabberers, fucking like floating eyeballs, pond grabbers, forgotten beasts, weird creatures from the depths. That shit's fun. You want to be even more fun, like also exposed to lava and just let fucking fire imps and fire snakes, and that shit's cool. That's my favorite way of playing a like hard fort. Yeah, pond grabbers, just like those creepy dudes at the swimming pool that never leave the hot tub. So they always make the cave entrance through the tavern. That sounds like a real good way for everybody in your fort to die really quickly. Ducky. Even if you have like 1 million mercenary visitors, like you still wouldn't have much luck there. Yeah, I got a couple of those in my basement right now. This one is captured, and I've used it to harvest some stuff from a couple times. Actually, Glassboy's gone. Glassboy was running around for a bit. Glassboy's disappeared. I don't know where Glassboy went. Killed a cave crocodile most recently, so it's still alive. It is, but it worked once. I mean, yeah, it's one of those strategies where like it'll work occasionally, but it's just better to have a lever to lock the caverns. Uninvited guests. You can also have caged uninvited guests, That's just Zach's writing. Or capture proof. Well, my caged uninvited guests are not Forgotten Beasts. They're giants or Ettins. Although I let the Ettins out. Or the Minotaur. Forgotten Beasts can be caught if there is a web on the trap and they get knocked into the trap. But that's a bug. Unless that got fixed in the most recent release, but I don't think it did. As far as I know, that's still... I just realized some like dumb behind the scenes Twitch shit is spelled wrong. The hype train that happened earlier because 3 people prime subbed at the exact same time. Words it as sub gifts in my activity feed, but those are actually prime subs. Huh? Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, gremlins and Forgotten Beasts can both be caught in cage traps with webs on them. But they need to have webs on them. So good luck with that. Those are gifts from Bezos. Is Bezos still the CEO? Or has he stepped down yet? It's supposed to be like Gen Z or Jamie? Whatever the name of that person who's taken over. I don't know. Not worrying about it. All the dwarves are socializing. That's what we need. Socialize and make babies, please. And get married. Do what you gotta do, dwarves. Jassy? Jassy. It's nowhere near as much fun to say as Bezos. It's the biggest loss here. Because I won't be able to say Bezos bucks anymore. And Amazon has like one too many syllable to really be fun. You know, I'll bet you that you could have a Forgotten Beast named Bezos. Jassy Jules? Jassy Gem? No. No. No, I do not want to touch Jassy's family jewels. Azon's bucks? Azon's bucks. No. No, it don't work. Amazonians bucks? No. Just, it doesn't roll off the tongue as well as Bezos bucks does. Yay, they're dancing. Oh shit. I literally just saw this dwarf get depressed. Well, someone needs to go practice some martial art once again. I don't know if Abe's here, but you're depressed again. Making your squad go train. Pesos bucks? No, that's just Canada. Yeah, your dwarf got depressed again, but I'm gonna go make you work out. It's time for you to go work out for like 4 years. That axe swing? I think you're a spear dwarf, aren't you? Oh no, you are an axe lord, yeah. Most of my other dwarves are spear dwarves, so. You have a named shield named Voice. Voice braids. It's a quality iron shield. And your battle axe doesn't have a name. Yep, it's another full autumn with no traders from the mountain home. 185 or an 80 182. Math. No. But if you've ever heard of the YouTuber Linus Tech Tips, he jokingly refers to the Canadian currency as Canadian pesos because whenever they're talking about pricing about things, the Canadian dollar is always vastly less expensive than all of the other or vastly more expensive than the other dollars, because the Canadian dollar is worth way less than the American dollar usually. Usually we're about $1.30, although last I checked we were around $1.20. But it's basically a, have you ever watched the Linus Tech Tips video? If yes, you've heard the term Canadian pesos. Traders? No. More like they're just slowly all dying. No, I'm worried about them. They ain't traders. They have abandoned you? That sounds like heresy to me. Sock smell. Losing faith in the mountain home? Heresy. Why is it called the Canadian dollar? Why are you called Commander Rainbow Ducky? I'm going to go heat up my coffee because I kind of want some warm coffee. Be back in a sec. Also, I just picked up my mug to stand up, and no, Ducky. I would keep calling it dollars. Apparently, I dropped like 300 frames while I was up. Sock smell. How exactly would instigating a civil war help my population go up? Yes, and Americans have morons. What's your point? What code? Because if I instigate a civil war, I will be at war with my own faction, Sock smell. If I instigate a civil war, I will not be able to request migrant workers from the Helixes anymore because they will be hostile when they arrive. So that sounds like a brilliantly horrible idea. But yes, in theory, I could do that. But that wouldn't help the longevity of the fortress in any way. If anything, it would just simply seal its fate to be destroyed. This is more of a general question? Yes, I could. There's multiple ways I could do it. A loonie is a dollar coin. It is a slang term for our $1 coin because there is a loon on it, which is a type of bird. And a twoonie also has a loon, which is a $2 coin. Also not the official term. It's a slang term. Why are we asking these weirdly specific dumb questions about Canadian currency? And how do you not know this shit? Just go Google it, you weirdos. Just go look it up. It's public knowledge. And also, in regards to the question about population stuff, I have actually intentionally started civil wars before in previous forts. And I think that if we don't change the direction that this conversation is going right now, Axon, I will have to time somebody out. So instead, I will simply delete that message because it's not funny and ask for a round of beers. I don't even want to see that kind of joke in my chat. Keep that away from me, please. And I'm going to sip my coffee. And also, please don't fix the price of Canada dollar. Because if I do, if for some reason the Canadian dollar was 1-to-1 with the US dollar, I would lose about 30% of my income. So please don't do that. Please don't do that. Keep it where it's at. It's good where it's at. Helps my economy. It's also why the movie industry is so big where I live, because they all come up here because it's way cheaper to film films up here than it is down in the States. Please don't do that. You'd fuck my local economy. Watch a surgery demonstration. Huh. Who's leading the surgery demonstration? Jamie is. Interesting. Who is in the demonstration? Nobody. I'm assuming it would just be like descriptions and like MS Paint doodles. Once again, I'm just going to state that I would like this subject to change, Butchie. Because I don't want to talk about this shit. If you guys want to talk about this shit, you can take it into DMs. I like making a living. And I don't like the idea of not being able to do this full time anymore because my currency changed in price. Which currently, based on my income, I probably wouldn't be able to. Or I would have a significantly harder time of it. So, we can change the subject now if you guys want to be kind. Slate boards? I actually don't think we have any slate in this fort. I'm sure they have something. We might have some chalk. Definitely have plaster. Man, I haven't thought about that movie in a minute. Be Kind Rewind. I wonder if that movie holds up. It's like the most dated movie of the decade. Who likes sweet potato fries? I mean, sweet potato fries are fine. Sweet potato fries are usually something I get from restaurants, not something I make myself. Because I don't have a deep fryer at home. They're better deep fried. I just don't want to talk about economic politics, for whatever that's worth. Most other subjects are fine. I just don't want to discuss economics. Because I have unpopular opinions on that shit because of my work situation. It tastes better than the normal ones. You want to know why that is? It's usually because they make them fresh to order. Unless you go to a Red Robin's, in which case then they just leave them. Because nobody orders them. Or way less people order them. Because they cost more usually. So they usually make them fresh to order. Whereas if you get normal ass fries, they just leave them sitting. So you're probably eating fries that were made and left under a warming light for a very long period of time. But if you get sweet potato fries, odds are they have to just make them fresh. So that's probably why they taste better. It's usually why they taste better. Also why I don't generally go to restaurants. I miss pub food, but man, I know too much about how restaurants work. I just feel upset half the time whenever I'm in restaurants. I don't know what that means, Zest, but okay. What do you mean by AKA salamander? Suddenly just thinking about like the old top-down shooter called Salamander. Cheers, Logos. I worked in restaurants for 8.5 years, almost. I've literally never heard that term before, so. And that equipment is pretty standardized. My Wolverines have had kits once again. All right, you are going to be there. I'm swapping out the Wolverines for Wolverine kits. Do I have Wolverines that are just running around? That is the question. Nope, we're good. I mean, maybe it's like a slang term that you've heard, but I've literally never heard the term salamander being referred to as those. Are salamanders even cold-blooded? Now I need to Google this. They are cold-blooded, okay. Huh. Well, you know. I feel like I knew that, but like... Big thunk? Not really. It's more like a small random thought. Definitely not a big think. Might have been a Pokemon reference? What? That calling them salamanders? Maybe? I don't know. My mood is just like gone out the shitter in the last 10 minutes. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. One of the worst things in the world is, in mythology, salamanders are associated with fire. Huh. I wonder where the logic for that came from. Interesting. It's like one of the worst things about being me currently is, and remembering what it was like to be me like 3-4 years ago. It was like 3-4 years ago, I'd wake up and my mood would be one thing and I'd be okay for the whole day. And now it's like the slightest change in blood sugar and my mood just goes... And I can just go from being like super chipper and happy and in a good mood to just being incredibly depressed or incredibly cranky very fast. Fucking hate it. Hey, dwarves, how we doing? Abe is no longer depressed. Let's get you guys back up into the tavern. After you guys finish that round of combat drills. Slaughter that Wolverine, because it's just running around. I don't know what to do. I might just end stream. Man, that was fast. You were literally fine minutes ago. It's not being in the military for 10 minutes is enough to make that dwarf sad again. It's a weird dwarf, man. Yeah, well, like I said, I described these dwarves as like a gym rat. They just need to be working out constantly and all the time forever and ever, or they're just sad. It's kind of funny. At least I find it kind of funny. See? He's already no longer depressed. Like, literally, like, in the last minute. See? It's totally fine now. I guess we need to leave that running for a little bit. Like, overflow him on the other end. It's wild, though. You know, I was thinking about this because, like, I made some stockpiles for dwarven toys, and none of them have actually any toys in them, even though we have, like, a couple dozen toys around the fortress, and all the kids are playing with them. It's like, well, of course the kids aren't going to put toys away. It's just so fitting. Not since my back injury. Sock smell. The dwarves, however, lift each other while wrestling. All right, chat. I know that this is very early, but I'm ending stream. I need to not be on camera for a bit. They need their hamster wheels? Yeah, that they do. They certainly do. They certainly do. I'm going to go rest my head for a bit. It's one of those days. I was okay most of today, but... Nah, I need to get off camera for a bit. All right, guys. I'm going to send you guys over to Bellinair. He's playing Dwarf Romantic, which is a little kind of puzzly, town-buildy thing. I would do the full, like, Patreon shout-outs and shit, but don't feel right because I'm just kind of suddenly ending. Go watch Bellinair. He's good people. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Normal time. Cheers.